Hey everyone, I got it so you can actually see my face. Just wanted to touch up on that other video, do a just an interesting thought, because I didn't want you guys to think that, like Unacceptable Babbitt said, that I wasn't thinking about the mother or of anything else like that when I came to my conclusion about abortion. So I just wanted to quickly go over potentially 4 reasons to have an abortion that are commonly presented that supposedly justify it. The first is, well, I need to have the abortion or I'm gonna die. This, thankfully, isn't... There we go. This, thankfully, isn't too much of a problem anymore because... Why is my phone shaking like that? This, thankfully, isn't too much of a problem anymore because through medical advances and science and stuff like that, we can usually rule this out. But every now and again it does happen where if you have this baby, you run the risk of dying. And at that point in time, that's really a rock and a hard place, at least for me it would be. Because the way I would look at that is, am I now going to deny someone else's life to save my own? And that can be a very tough decision to make. I'm going to say that this person in this situation has the most justified reason for probably having the abortion if they're trapped in this situation. Because honestly, I honestly can't even say that I think I, at that point in time, would not want to go through with the abortion. Maybe I would, but maybe the fear of death would be enough to override my moral compass. So I will definitely say that that person has the best reason for considering an abortion. The second best reason, or the most justified reason for having an abortion, I would have to say is probably the, well, I was raped and now I'm pregnant thing. This is actually something I did touch up on my Sunday Apologetics video. If I understand that you were forced into a situation you didn't ask to be in, but at the exact same time, just like I said in my video, that child didn't choose to get put in that situation either. It's a very, like another rock in a hard place. But just think about the example that I used. If someone went human centipede on both of us and connected a makeshift umbilical cord from me to you, and I got the legal right to kill you because I don't want you leeching off my body, would I be justified in just cutting the cord and killing you? However, on the opposite side of the argument, I will say that a woman who has been through rape trauma, a child who's not going to have a father or any role model father in their life, and we all know how children like that tend to turn out. At that point in time, it could be best to consider, would it just be better to have the abortion and, deny the life? It's a very personal decision that, someone would have to make. The third, and what I would call the third justifiable reason, although not very justifiable at all in my opinion, is I'm going to get seriously hurt if I have the kid. This is barely a reason because now we have C-sections. My mother has 8 kids. About 8 kids at last count. I think that right there tells you she doesn't believe in abortion. But, it's, her last 2 kids, she had to have a C-section for, because after having that many kids, her body was starting to really take its toll on her. And she chose to have the C-sections rather than aborting the child, which of course I would say is much better. Yes, she did put up with some pretty nasty stitches and some really painful stuff after that. But, I'm not going to say if all you're going to get from it is an injury, you should probably just go with the C-section like my mother did. For the moral reason of, I'd rather take some stitches than to deny somebody else life. Then we have the 4th, and in my opinion, the most unjustifiable reason of all, simply because I don't want to have a kid. And no, unacceptable Babbitt, my argument is not the potential for life argument. My argument, I can see why you're trying to turn it into the potential for life argument. My argument, I call it the golden rule argument. Would you have wanted someone to abort you when you were a fetus? If the answer is no, you shouldn't turn around and do that to other people. Really disturbing, after slavery and the Holocaust, we still haven't learned we shouldn't treat people differently just because we view them as less. And honestly, because I know this really got under your skin, I'm not sure what else to call somebody who thinks that they have the moral right to deny somebody else life because they made a bad decision. That's the only word I can even think of to call somebody like that is a monster. And we got all these women who go through this and they become, severely depressed. They feel severely guilty after getting an abortion. Well, good. You should feel guilty. You just denied somebody the right to live. You should feel guilty for that. I'm glad to see you feel guilty, because if you didn't feel guilty afterwards, I'd have to probably label you to being a frickin' psychopath afterwards. We live in a society that likes to say you shouldn't shame people, you shouldn't make people feel guilty. Well, screw that. If you feel guilty or you feel shameful, that's your body's way of telling you you probably shouldn't be doing something, or you probably shouldn't have done something. If you feel guilty about having an abortion, well, basically what just happened is you let someone peer pressure you into doing something. You can, because you can sit there and you can do the whole, it's my body, my choice, my body, my choice. And you know what? You just keep telling yourself that. Tell yourself that before the abortion, tell yourself that during the abortion, and above all, tell yourself that after the abortion. Because when that strong feeling of guilt that you rightfully deserve arrives, I don't think the my body, my choice saying is going to save you. I mean, it's very good that people feel guilt after doing this. Because that goes to show, despite the psychobabble about abortion being completely okay, that they know it's wrong. There's nothing okay about abortion. And I will say this, I said this one time, and I believe I was actually an atheist when I said this, because like I said, abortion is something that I had a problem with even as an atheist, because before I became a Christian, the golden rule was kind of my moral compass before I became a Christian. But I used to tell people, you find me one person who is at risk of being aborted and supports abortion, and I'll say you got a good point. Until then, don't sit here and tell me abortion is okay or justifiable. I've never known one person to be at risk for abortion that was in support of abortion. All these people who are out here supporting abortion, I wonder if they'd still be doing that if they were the fetus who was going to be aborted. It's a damn shame. After all we've been through, humanity still has not learned to not treat people differently because they are viewed as less than. It's just a little something I wanted to say to quickly wrap that up. But above anything else, don't worry. It's just an interesting thought. Quickly just making and attaching this to the end of the video. In the description there's going to be a link about, it's a very amazing pro-abortionist turned anti-abortionist. You should really check it out. It's, take it from the mouths of a woman herself, because a lot of people say, well, you can't talk about abortion, you're not a woman, and that's complete balderdash. I wasn't in the Holocaust, but I don't have to be in the Holocaust to tell you the Holocaust was bad. You don't necessarily have to be a part of the bad thing to know that it's a bad thing. But just check out the link in the description. It's a really great story. She's already written books. She's turned pretty powerful ally in this anti-abortion stance. Alright, that's all.